Hello, everyone! One reckless politician can bring devastation to the entire world, and we are witnessing that right now. On April 2nd, 2025, Donald Trump announced his presidential tariffs, imposing them on over 90 countries. In his usual dramatic style, he declared, "No more." Many countries have been taking advantage of us for years. According to him, the rest of the world has been exploiting America for a long time. The richest nation in the world was being taken advantage of, but now it's our turn to do the taking. After the announcement, global stock markets crashed. Within a week, trillions of dollars were wiped off, and the world found itself on the brink of a global recession. The world is teetering on the edge of a potential recession. Monday, April 7th, was the worst day for stock markets worldwide. Whether in Hong Kong, Taiwan, China, Japan, Germany, the UK, the US, or India, stock markets fell drastically everywhere. This bizarre and immature approach can be seen in how the tariffs were implemented. On April 2nd, Trump imposed a 34% tariff on China. 2 days later, China retaliated with a 34% tariff on American goods. Trump didn't like this, so he told China to remove their tariffs. If they didn't, he warned of another 50% tariff. If the tariffs are not removed by tomorrow noon, we will increase tariffs by 50%, he stated. But China stuck to its position. By April 9th, the U.S. imposed a further 50% tariff on China, and China retaliated with another 50%. This tit-for-tat battle escalated quickly. Let's break this down further. First, what exactly is a tariff? A tariff is a tax imposed on imported goods. For instance, if you buy an iPhone in India, there will be a 15% import tax. This is a type of tariff. Products like clothes can have an import duty of 20 to 25%. Tariffs are generally used for two reasons: to boost government revenue and to protect local industries by making foreign goods more expensive and domestically produced goods cheaper. For example, in South Korea in the 1980s and 90s, the government imposed strategic tariffs on imported rice to protect local farmers who couldn't compete with cheaper imported rice. By gradually increasing tariffs on rice, the government helped local farmers adopt modern techniques and improve their competitiveness. This strategy worked, and eventually, they phased out the tariffs. This shows that tariffs, when used wisely, can benefit a country's economy. However, tariffs can also hurt exporting countries. For instance, if India exports a lot of medicines to South Korea, and South Korea imposes a 100% tariff on those medicines to protect its local pharmaceutical industry, India would suffer, as its medicine sales in South Korea would plummet. This often leads to a retaliation, where the affected country imposes tariffs back, starting a trade war. To avoid such a conflict, countries usually negotiate. You explain why you need the tariffs and try to reach a mutually beneficial agreement. Trump, however, took a very different approach, imposing tariffs on 90 countries without consultation, with an attitude of "I'll do whatever I want." Trump claimed that his tariffs were designed to reduce America's trade deficit. That's why he called April 2nd Liberation Day. A trade deficit occurs when a country imports more than it exports. For instance, if the U.S. exports $1 billion worth of goods to China, but imports $2 billion worth from China, the U.S. trade deficit with China is $1 billion. Being in a trade deficit isn't inherently bad, as long as the economy is strong and there are no critical dependencies on other countries. However, Trump viewed this as a threat and imposed tariffs to reduce the deficit. Trump even invoked emergency powers to justify the tariffs, declaring a national emergency over the trade deficit. Experts criticized this move, saying that it was a misuse of the Emergency Act in a democracy. Trump's tariffs were broad. Every foreign good imported into the U.S. was hit with at least a 10% tariff. including those from countries where America didn't even have a trade deficit. For example, he imposed tariffs of 49% on Cambodia, 46% on Vietnam, 20% on the European Union, and 125% on China. Trump used a simple formula. Divide the trade deficit by imports, then impose half of that percentage as the new tariff. For instance, America's trade deficit with China is $295 billion, and China imports $439.9 billion worth of American goods. According to the formula, the tariff should be 67%, but Trump halved it, imposing a 34% tariff on China. Trump also imposed tariffs on uninhabited islands near Antarctica, like Heard Island and McDonald Island. No one lives there. It's only penguins, yet a 10% tariff was placed on them. Perhaps Trump mistook McDonald Island for a McDonald's restaurant. Who knows? But these tariffs have real-world consequences. America is a massive consumer market, and businesses globally depend on selling products there. In retaliation, countries like China, the EU, and Canada targeted industries in the U.S. that are likely to support Trump, such as corn farmers and car makers. The logic was simple. Hit those who voted for Trump to make a real impact. Imposing such tariffs disrupts global trade. While countries that export goods to America are affected, the American people feel the impact the most. When foreign goods become expensive, everyday Americans will bear the cost. Trump's tariffs also affect globalized industries. Products sold in America are often made from imported components. For example, Mr. Beast's chocolates, made in America, use cacao beans imported from Africa. Higher tariffs would make these raw materials more expensive, increasing the cost of chocolates. Historically, every time America has raised tariffs, it has led to negative consequences. The Tariff Act of 1789, under George Washington, started with a 5% tax on imports. But by 1890, tariffs increased significantly, leading to the 1893 Depression and 25% unemployment. Similarly, in the 1930s, tariffs caused the Great Depression. History shows that protectionist policies like these harm the economy in the long run. Since World War II, America has been a proponent of free trade, encouraging lower tariffs to foster international trade. This philosophy led to the creation of the WTO, aiming to reduce tariffs worldwide. But under Trump, everything changed. Countries are now questioning how much they can trust America's commitment to free trade. The Prime Minister of Singapore warned that trade wars, like the one Trump is leading, could escalate into something more dangerous, just as they did in the 1930s, eventually leading to World War II. The unpredictability of the global economy today is largely due to Trump's actions. On April 9th, Trump announced a 90-day pause on tariffs for all countries except China, lowering them to 10%. The fluctuating tariffs are leaving everyone confused about Trump's intentions. Some believe he is manipulating the stock market, as he tweeted that it was a good time to buy stocks right before announcing the tariff pause, which caused the market to rebound. So, what do you think? Leave your comments below. Perhaps even Trump doesn't know what he's doing. If he does, it shows his short-sightedness. Imposing and removing tariffs like this on such a large scale is no game. It affects millions of businesses worldwide that can't plan ahead. It's like trying to kill a cockroach by setting your house on fire. A rash and dangerous decision. I hope this video has been informative.